Hey, we got a big show planned for you today. We're going to hit the mats and talk some Pan Am games. We'll also bring the dogs out. Yeah. And the Madison Radicals are going to be in the house again as well. All of that and a lot more straight ahead. But first, it's going to be the headlines. It's powered by the Red Zone over on Regent Street and Conant Automotive in Stoughton. Stick around. The sports news straight ahead right here on 57 Sports. All right, time now for the headlines. Your look into the tackles, hits, checks, and dunks that make up the local sports scene. I'm your host, Rich Reynolds, and as always, let's hit the ground running. You know, perhaps you haven't noticed, but Camp Randall Stadium is celebrating its 100th birthday this year. I know, it seems just like yesterday that he took his first steps and learned how to drive a car. Ah, memories. Well, to mark the occasion, the Badgers have been counting down the Camp Randall 100, a list of people who have left a lasting impression on the venerable stadium. Now, the list has included the likes of Pat Richter, the Portage Plumber, U2, yes, and even the Dane Game Streaker. Now, tickets for the 100th season at Camp Randall Stadium went on sale this week and will kick off on a Friday night this year when Bucky hosts Utah State. Well, the ultimate goal in any sport is to win titles, and in ultimate frisbee, that goal is no different. For the past 3 years, the Madison Radicals have taken the Midwest Division crown with few challengers standing in their way. Now, this season, with 2 losses on their ledger, the Radicals got pushed by the upstart Minnesota wind chill. Well, Friday night left Minnesota out in the cold. The Radicals defeated the Chicago Wildfire 26-17, making it 4 consecutive division titles and now a 6-game winning streak as well for the Rads. Now, we will be joined by Tim DeBile as he'll discuss that division title and the upcoming playoffs during our interview portion of the show. Well, next we give you the very brief tale of Joseph Abate. Who, you might ask? Yeah, well, no one would blame you. Abate is a UW hockey commit who skated for the Janesville Jets last season. He was drafted in the 4th round by the Madison Capitals this summer, and before even taking the ice in a Cap sweater, he has been promptly dealt to the Omaha Lancers in exchange for forward Anthony Mastromonica. Ah, Joseph Abate, we hardly knew ye. FYI, the Capitals' 4th season will begin in October, and the schedule will be released this weekend. And something to share sports-wise on an international note, and it is definitely noteworthy as Roger Federer at age 35 became the oldest man to win the Wimbledon title. The Swiss tennis legend also won the event for a record 8th time. Yeah, the win was his 2nd Grand Slam title of the year and the 19th of his career. Federer defeated Marin Cilic in straight sets. Well, for more information on our headlines and all the 411, you can check out these fine non-fake news websites. Stick around. We have more interviews than anyone else. That's coming up next right here on the Sports News on Wisconsin's 57 Sports. You know, I love it on the show when we could talk about local people doing big, bad things all over the world. And we got one right here. Hunter Lewis from Stoughton. He is a wrestler and he has been doing great. Recently returning from Argentina where he competed in the Pan Am Games. And tell you what, he won a couple of silver medals in freestyle and in Greco-Roman wrestling. Hunter, welcome on into the program. You know, you've done a lot of traveling overseas for wrestling. What though made this trip to Argentina so special for you?
Well, I was formerly representing the USA. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a huge deal, getting picked by your country to represent your country. So as far as the Pan Am Games go, which you recently went to, now, can anyone compete at this event? How do you get selected?
You get selected through competing at World Team Trials. I got 3rd and 7th, 3rd in Greco, and 7th in freestyle. And since I placed both in both styles, I was able to compete at this.
Wow, excellent stuff. So that's a lot of competition, a lot of pressure. So that's great that you're able to achieve such a high level in it. Tell me, in all your travels then, so you just got back from Argentina, how many countries have you been to? And are there different training techniques in each country?
I've currently been to 17 countries now, and there's definitely differences in their training. Like in Poland, a lot of gymnastics and warm-ups, and like Sweden and Hungary, it's mainly Greco-Roman wrestling they do, which in the United States, there's 3 styles: folk style, freestyle, and Greco.
Okay. Yeah, my wife is actually from Poland. Did you like the food over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it over there. It's great stuff. So you're currently enrolled in Stoughton High School. How has the school handled you? Have they been supportive of what you're doing?
They've been extremely supportive, helping me stay caught up in school when I miss school, and the city and the school, like it's a good school to go to for wrestling and related stuff.
No doubt. Yeah, they got a great wrestling program, great athletic director down there as well. Been on our show as well, so kind of expected that they'd be supportive. So where do you expect wrestling is going to take you maybe over the next 5 to 10 years?
Go to a good college, then after that, make a Olympic and world team.
Hey, that's all good stuff. So as far as your travels and where you're competing, just got back from Argentina. Where are you heading to next?
Next is Fargo. That's the national tournament for freestyle and Greco.
Very cool. Fargo, North Dakota. I've been there a few times. You could check out a Redhawks game if you get a chance while you're out there. Always good stuff. So, Hunter, congratulations on what you've been doing so far. Good luck on the road ahead.
Thank you.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
All right, we got a new guest now here on the Sports News. I almost think we should have like a breaking news sounder or something coming in. Always good to have new faces on and new people as we bring in Jeb Simmons. He is the owner of CrossFit Fort Atkinson. And welcome on in, Jeb. And if we could, talk a little bit about, hey, what is your business? Where are you guys located?
CrossFit Fort Atkinson. We're located in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. We're a CrossFit gym.
Okay, so a CrossFit gym, what does that actually mean for someone who's never done CrossFit?
CrossFit entails a little bit of everything. We weightlift, we do body weight movements, we run. Pretty much anything we can do in a gym, we do it there in some sort of fashion. You know, whatever we can kind of mix together and make into a workout.
Now, from the outside looking in, if I'm looking to get into shape, I'm thinking, boy, it's something I haven't tried before. It might be tough to do. Now, is this something that anyone at any kind of fitness level can get involved with?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have everybody from high school students up to people that are in mid-60s that do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's definitely for everybody.
Yeah, if you have to describe like what a typical member is, so the biggest section, a group of people that you have in your gym, what's a typical member like?
Just your average person that's looking to be in shape, trying to figure out how to be healthy inside the gym and outside the gym.
So now for your gym and for when people come in, it seems like you're going to want to set goals for people as they go along. Do you go over like a fitness plan with each member?
We try to figure out what each member is kind of, you know, exactly what you said, what their goal is. You know, we have competitive members that go compete. And like I said, we have some that just want to come in and be healthy and do a workout for an hour and be done for the day. So
yeah. Speaking of competition, you got a competition coming up, don't you? The CrossFit Games are coming to Madison in August.
Yes, they are.
And what are you going to be doing there? How does that all work? What's the story behind that?
CrossFit Games is kind of the pinnacle of where you want to get if you're a competitive CrossFit athlete. It starts out with an online competition in March for 5 weeks, and then we have either regionals or a qualifier weekend, and then from there the top 20, for my age group, the top 20 guys in the world end up at the CrossFit Games, and I happen to be one of them this year. So.
Wow, and the only one from Wisconsin, I understand as well. So it's going to be interesting. As we go along, we do more interviews with you. I'd love to delve into that, what that actually means, and more about your gym as well, as I'm sure that we'll get to do in the coming weeks. Jeb, nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, some people are cat people. Me personally, I'm more of a dog person, and I got a feeling that our next guests are as well. Jeff and Kate Fuller are joining us for the first time here on the Sporting News. Welcome in, guys. You guys are with Sporting Dog Adventures TV. All right, so now what exactly is Sporting Dog Adventures TV, and how is it family programming?
Well, we have a unique family program where we have our kids involved. We have 3 boys, 15, 16, and 12. And we also have our dogs involved. And Kate and I hunt all over the country with them, as well as here in the state of Wisconsin, and put together something that everyone can sit down and watch, because there's something for everyone in the family.
Very cool. Now, it's kind of based loosely or strictly like on a Labrador Retriever kennel. How does that work?
Well, Jeff started a Labrador kennel breeding program back in '98 with his first dog, and he got asked to guest host on other shows and things like that, and eventually started his own show. But it all comes back to our kennel and the dogs that we raise and love. We show our own dogs from Soggy Acres Retrievers quite a bit, but that's not the only dogs. We do showcase other breeds too.
Yeah, and speaking of those dogs who are ultimately, I guess, the star of your TV show, talk about some of the dogs that people are going to see when they tune in.
Well, we have our dog Rommel, who is in our theme song, and he's the one that we started the show with. He's a black Labrador Retriever. He's actually 11 and a half now, so he's headed toward probably just being more of a figurehead of the show. Okay. We've got our dog Pickett. We've got a dog named Ruger. We've got Pappy. We've got a new dog named Scarlet that has got a lot of personality and is about 5 months old. And we show these dogs in the field, but we also show them outside of the field so that you can see their personalities and really bond with them as members of the show.
Now, I know a lot of people love dogs, have dogs, stuff like that, but they haven't started a TV show about it. What actually got you started? What gave you the idea to start a TV show about the dogs?
I had someone that was involved in TV, and they talked me into doing a show. I honestly thought, hey, this is a great idea. I had been in law enforcement. I was a sergeant in the City of Muskego Police Department, and I got injured, had to retire, and I was looking for something to do. And I guess it was just an opportunity. We were on Outdoor Wisconsin, we were on a few other shows, and it's pretty much just snowballed from here.
Very cool stuff. Now, you guys also do some hunts as well. What type of hunts do you have?
As far as our format of the show, we do 8 waterfowl, 2 upland, and 3 big game shows. And that is pretty much how our season is set up. We also have our segments. Kate has a segment.
I do the What's Cooking with Kate, and we basically show people how to prepare the wild game that they've taken.
As well as we have training tips and we have product tips.
Wow, very cool. And a new lodge as well, is that right?
Yep, we actually just bought a property in Big Green Lake area, Green Lake County. That was August, I think, last year or so, about August or so. The lodge was partly constructed, so we finished the construction on that just recently in the past week or so. And basically people who book hunts there, we'll actually use footage from those hunts on the TV show.
Excellent. Hopefully people get involved on this. Good stuff. Nice having you here. Jeff and Kate, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
Hey, look who's back. Tim DeBile from the Madison Radicals is back in the house this week as we talk division titles. Now, I might have said in my headlines that it's 4 straight division titles for you. Is it 4 or 5? How much winning have you guys been doing, Tim?
So it's the 4th straight regular season divisional title. We actually, in our first season, we took 2nd in the division, but then we beat Chicago and actually represented the Midwest in the championship game. So
okay.
So technically we didn't win the regular season the first year, but this was our 4th straight regular season title.
Okay, so I got it right at least. That's good. Now, speaking of the regular season, just 1 game left. It's going to be this Sunday at Breese Stevens. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it's family day, so this is one. It's a noon on Sunday. It's our only noon game all year. It's our only Sunday game all year. It's fun. We give out free programs to all the kids and have Sharpies for the players, and fans can come out in the field and get autographs and throw around with the guys. We usually do some temporary tattoos and stickers and stuff like that too. We have a few things happening. Chocolate Shop ice cream will be there as always. So it's a good family-friendly event, and we still need to win that game. We've won the division, but overall, our placement in the AUDL right now is we're the 2nd best team, and we want to hold that spot. So, because Final Four is basically set based on your record overall.
Okay, so definitely you're battling still, I guess, for that playoff position. You want to hold that 2nd spot. Talk about the playoffs, and when does that happen? It's going to be a home game too, right?
Yep. So we're going to wait and see who wins the sort of wild card game between Minnesota and Pittsburgh. And then winner of that game will come here August 12th. It'll be Saturday night at 6 o'clock at Breese, and the winner of that will head on to Montreal.
You guys have been red hot lately, 6 wins in a row. Seems like your defense is clicking. Are you excited about the way the guys are playing?
Yeah, I am. The first half of the season, we were, I think, 3rd or 4th in defense, and right now we're back in our usual spot of first. I think we're only averaging 18.2 goals given up a game, and the closest to us is something like 19. So it took a little while for us to start clicking, but we're back where we want to be, #1 rated defense, ready for the playoffs.
I know you guys would love to make it back to that championship game. This year it's going to be in Montreal, which would be really exciting. What's it going to take for you guys to get there?
Well, I mean, both Pittsburgh and Minnesota are better this year than they were last year. Minnesota beat us once, they took us to overtime once, so, I think we just got to see who comes out of that, hope they beat each other up a little bit, and, I think continue to play good defense, and our offense has to click that weekend.
And the way you guys are definitely clicking, you guys are winning games. Health-wise, are you good? Are you ready for a playoff run?
Well, we have a lot of injuries. We've had a lot of injuries this year. We've had a lot of guys come in and fill roles. I'm really confident the thing that's been different in the second half of the season is all those new guys we brought in really started clicking. So I feel like we're really deep, and it doesn't really matter who's out there as long as they're all playing the way they have been the last 6 weeks.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Another good playoff run. Tim, thanks for being here, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for having me.
Day of familiar faces continues here on the Sports News. Jeremy Schlitz is back. He's the athletic director over at Madison Memorial High School. And Jeremy, welcome on in, and let's talk about the spring season 2017, spring sports for the Spartans. How did it go?
Yeah, thanks for having me back. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. Spring sports just finished up. We had a great spring. A couple of highlights I think of. Our participation numbers in girls softball are up. We were able to offer 3 teams, and really looking forward to how that'll kind of play out for us. But also had some great results. Qualified 18 people for the WI track state tournament, which was really neat. Girls soccer team got to a shootout in the sectional final for a state berth. We had a tennis player, Colt Tegmeyer, finish 2nd at the WI state tournament, and our boys golf team also qualified for the state meet. So busy spring, lots of highlights that I probably missed there too, but it was a great way to finish off the school year for us.
A lot of great results, and now these athletes turn to their summers. What does a summer look like for a high school athlete?
Well, summer might be busier than school in terms of the athletic component, especially for our multi-sport athletes, and we try to do the best we can to make sure we're balancing that for them and helping them, get some time to relax and recharge, but also give them opportunities to develop. So, we've got over 250 student athletes involved in our summer speed and strength program, just a way for them to all together as Spartans get better, not necessarily sports specific. But then you look and with the contact, the way that it works out with the WIA and all of our sports, there's so many opportunities for our kids to get better at the school, and we want to provide them those opportunities, and our coaching staff's been great about whether it's open gyms or contact days or camps and clinics, giving them those opportunities.
Some of the things that have affected summertime sports has been the privatization of summertime sports, and a lot of athletes involved with that. How has that affected you guys?
Yeah, it's tough, and it differs from sport to sport, but I think anytime you're paying somebody who's a for-profit institution and you're looking at interscholastic athletics, you got to make sure you're wary of that, because obviously our high school programs have the best interest of our student athletes, but unfortunately sometimes you've got people that are out there trying to capitalize on it. So that's what we try to do is provide those opportunities that everybody can access. And you just got to make sure you're really careful. I think there's good that comes from some of the opportunities out there, especially in a city like Madison, to challenge our student athletes in some of the private ways. But you really want to make sure that that's the program that does the best for your kid.
So now as we look ahead to the next school year, and we got about 30 seconds to talk about this, what's new for you guys? What's on the horizon?
We had a really neat summer from the athletic director standpoint. We were able to resurface the track over at Mansfield Stadium. We got some new tennis courts going in. Did some reseeding on the fields, really some neat maintenance projects that we're working on to kind of upgrade some of the stuff that we've got going on with our athletic facilities. And yeah, it's right around the corner. August 1st is going to be here before you know it, and we do our sports kickoff on July 27th, and looking forward to we had almost 700 student athletes participate in fall sports last year.
Wow.
So looking to get back there and increase that as well.
Always lots to talk about. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Jeremy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
All right, time now to go ahead and talk some fishing as we bring in Scott King from Sauk Prairie Bait and Tackle. And welcome back, Scott. And it's been some beautiful weather lately, a lot of chances to go out fishing, a lot of chances to hit your place up, especially If you're a veteran, it seems like a great place to go. You get a little bit of a discount, don't you?
Every day we give our active duty and veterans 10% off. At Sockberry Live Bait and Tackle, Veterans Day is just another day.
Yeah, there you go. Always good to give back to those guys. I'm a veteran too, and so absolutely love when people can do stuff like that for us. So let's talk about the actual fishing now. What's going on? Hey, if we're looking to catch some walleye, where's the best spot to catch them right now?
So Lake Wisconsin is one of the better places to catch some good-sized walleye and good eaters. One of the things you want to do is fish in 8 to 10 feet of water along weed edges. Another good strategy is to troll a lot of the stump fields in those areas. You just want to be careful and watch out for all the recreational boaters and swimmers.
You see quite a bit of that on Lake Wisconsin for sure. How about bass? If you're more into that and you want to catch some of those, where's a good spot?
Bass, again, Lake Wisconsin. One of the better known places, or lesser known places, is the Wisconsin River below the Prairie du Sac Dam. Very good smallmouth territory, up along logs, rocky edges, rock bars, pretty much all the way down the Wisconsin River from Prairie du Sac Dam past Ferry Bluff and beyond that.
So now a good strategy for them. What are they biting on?
A lot of bass are biting on swim jigs and plastics.
Okay. My son has had some good luck lately catching panfish. Where are they at right now? Where's a good spot to get them?
Crystal Lake has always been a great place to go for panfish. There's a lot of shoreline fishing, and usually we'll use waxworms, redworms, night crawlers, or one of my favorites, the Bimbo skunk jig.
Cool. And I know a lot of people now like to go to your place because you guys do things a little bit different than the big box stores. What kind of separates you from going to a Walmart or something like that?
Well, one of the things that you'll get, I hope, is a good sense of humor. One of the things that everybody asks at a bait store, is where are they biting and where and how and on what? Well, we don't always know the answer, and we don't want to make you believe that we have the answer every time. So we throw in a sense of humor. So when a guy says, hey, where are they biting? I'll say, in the mouth.
There you go. Where else, right?
Right.
So great stuff. Hopefully people are going to get up and go fishing very soon. Great weather that we've been having lately to do it. So Scott, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
Hey, a big thank you to all of our guests that were able to make it onto the program today. Big thank you to you, of course, for watching as well, and to our sponsors, especially the Red Zone over on Regent Street and Conan Automotive in Stoughton. We will see you next time right here on the Sports News on Wisconsin's 57 Sports.